Imagine waking up one day and suddenly the price of cooking gas jumps. Restaurants start shutting down and global oil prices skyrocket. But the war causing all this isn't happening in your country. It's happening thousands of kilometers away in Iran. Yet the shockwaves are being felt across the world, especially in India. From rising LPG prices to supply fears and geopolitical tensions, the Iran war has triggered one of the biggest global energy scares in recent years. In this video, we will explain what caused the Iran war, why Strait of Hormuz is critical, why India is worried, the LPG crisis in India, and what could happen next. Why the Iran war started. The conflict in West Asia escalated dramatically when military strikes involving Iran and its rival triggered a wider regional war, leading to missile and drone attacks across the region. The situation quickly spiraled into a large geopolitical confrontations involving Iran, Israel, the United States, several Middle Eastern actors. This conflict is not just about territory, it is about power, nuclear capability, and influence in the Middle East. And the most dangerous part, the war is happening around the world's most important oil shipping route, the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow waterway between Iran and Oman, but despite its size, it carries around one third of the world oil shipments. For countries like India, it's even more critical. A huge portion of India's crude oil, LNG, and LPG passes through this route. When the war intensified, shipping disruptions and security fear started affecting tankers passing through the strait. This immediately pushed global oil prices higher and created panic in energy market worldwide, and the impact reached India within days. Why India is so vulnerable? India is one of the largest energy importers in the world. The country imports about 85 to 88% of its crude oil from other nations. A major part of these imports come from the Middle East. So, when war threatens energy supply in the region, oil prices rises, shipping cost increases, energy supply becomes uncertain, and that directly affects the Indian economy. Experts warn that the Iran conflict could push inflations higher, the rupee weaker, import cost significantly up. But the biggest and the most important impact has been on LPG gas supplies. Soon after conflict intensified, India began seeing LPG supply disruptions and price increases. The price of a domestic LPG cylinder increases by rupees 60, pushing the daily price around 913 rupees per cylinder. Commercial cylinders used by restaurants became even more expensive, and the situation on the ground quickly worsened. Several restaurants and hotels in cities like Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore reported several LPG shortage, forcing some business to shut down temporarily. In some places, panic buying pushed LPG price on the black market to nearly rupees 1500 per cylinder. The crisis showed how quickly global geopolitics can affect everyday life. Why the LPG shortage happened? There are three major reasons. One, Strait of Hormuz disruptions. Ships carrying LPG and LNG could not safely travel through the conflict zone. Second, production disruptions in Gulf countries. Some energy facilities in the region temporarily halted operations due to attack. Third, supply chain panic. Countries started stockpiling energy resources, creating shortage elsewhere. For India, this created a sudden gap between supply and demand. How the Indian government respond? The Indian government quickly launched emergency measures. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held meeting with top ministers to review the LPG supply situation and prepare contingency plan. Several major steps were taken. First one is increases domestic LPG production. Refineries were ordered to maximize LPG output to protect household supply. Essential Commodities Act invoked. This allowed the government to regulate petroleum supply and prevent hoarding. Prioritizations of household domestic LPG consumers were given priority over industrial and commercial users. booking restrictions. The minimum time between cylinder booking was increased from 21 to 25 days to stop panic buying. Major companies also stepped in. For example, large refineries increased LPG production to stabilize supplies in domestic market. What is India's diplomatic stance on the war? Let's discuss this. India has taken a careful, balanced diplomatic stance instead of choosing sides. India has focused on urging de-escalation, protecting global energy routes, ensuring safety of Indian citizens in the region. India's priority is clear: energy security and regional stability. Because any longer war in West Asia could severely impact Indian economy. The bigger global impact, the Iran war is not just a regional conflict, it has triggered global consequences. Oil prices surged, shipping routes disrupted, inflation fears rising worldwide. Many analysts say that if war expands, the world could face another energy crisis similar to 1970s oil shock, and emerging economies like India could be among the most affected in this war. Iran war has shown how interconnected the world really is. A conflict thousands of kilometers away can suddenly affect fuel price, restaurants, business, household cooking gas, and the global economy. For India, the challenge now is clear: secure energy supplies, protect consumers, and navigate one of the most violent geopolitical crises of this decade. Because if the conflict continues to escalate, the real economic shock may still be ahead. Thank you very much. Please subscribe this YouTube channel. Have a great day.